But Brahma breathing, actually the Lord came out from Brahma's breath does not mean that Brahma is greater than the Lord. Sometimes people say, oh, Varaha, Bhagavan Varaha came out of Brahma's nose, so Brahma is the father of God. That is not true. God can come out from anywhere. Does not mean that somebody else becomes God. So, when the Lord came out from Brahma's nose, he was known as Shveta Varaha, white Varaha. This is a red Varaha. Red Varaha came at a different time. He came in Chakshusha Manu. That Manu which comes before Vaivashvata Manu. This is the 7th Manu going on right now. Swayambhu Manu was the first Manvantar. And now we have the Vaivashvata Manvantar. Before that there was Chakshusha Manvantar. And every Manvantar has 71 Chaturyugas. Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga. Like that cycle of 71 Chaturyugas. And each Chaturyuga is made up of 43 lakhs and 20,000 years. So 71 Chaturyugas means how much? Into 71. So almost, so like that, one Manu's life is of 71 Chaturyugas. So in the beginning, Swayambhu Manu, white Varaha came, and Chakshusha Manu's end there was a small pralaya. There also Prithvi was immersed in the ocean. Then Rakta Varaha came, red Varaha. So Shveta Varaha, when he came, he expanded like he became like a big mountain, white mountain. And Kumaras and Manu, and they were all thinking, oh, who is this? They were all wondering, discussing among each other. Then the Lord roared, and then the Rishi Munis of Janaloka and Maharloka, they recited prayers to glorify Lord Varaha. And then everyone understood that he is none other than the Lord. And at that time the Lord, he flew in the sky with full force, and then going high in the sky he came down, flapping, he slashed his tail, and that tail was, when he slashed his tail, the whole universe started trembling, and there was, his hooves were so powerful, he roared, and then he entered into the water, because he had to go billions of miles down. So, the boar is an amphibious beast. It can go in water as well as on land. It can go everywhere. That is why the Lord took the form of the boar. So he went into the water deep inside. And when he entered into the water, the two waves which were produced, it looked as if the two waves will engulf the whole of creation. They looked like his wings, when he went into the water. And slowly Varahadev entered into the water deep inside. He entered into the nether regions, and then he saw Prithvi, Bhumi Devi, lying inside the bed of that ocean, and with his two tusks, he lifted Bhumi between the two tusks. Imagine Bhumi Devi. What is the diameter of the earth? What is the diameter? 5,000 miles. So Varadev's distance between his two tusks was 5,000 miles. One can imagine how big Varaha was. Just his mouth was 5,000 miles. So he took Bhumi Devi's tusk and he slowly lifted her. And since he was very deep inside the water, it took some time to lift her up. By that time many other things happened, which we will come to now. When he was lifting the earth from under the water, at that same time Kashyapa, he was married to Diti, and Kashyapa at the time of sunset he was offering oblations in the yajna to Lord Krishna. He was worshipping Krishna by doing the yajna, but Diti somehow got very lusty at that time, got attracted by amorous desires, and Diti wanted, she came to Kashyapa and begged her husband, said, "Oh my dear husband, Cupid is overpowering me, please fulfill my desires. I can no longer wait, I can no longer resist these desires. I want to have sons, all my co-sisters are already having sons. I am not having sons, please give me sons immediately." So Kashyapa, even though he was doing yajna, but he did a mistake actually. He got some weakness. He told Diti, see my dear Diti, you are very nice wife, you have helped me to worship the Supreme Lord, so I will surely fulfill your desires. But you see, right now is not the good time. I am doing my yajna, let me complete my yajna, and then later in the evening, night time, I will fulfill your desires. She described how a wife is very important for a husband. Kashyapa Muni described that a good wife helps the husband to cross over the ocean of material nations. How just like a military commander stays within the fort and he attacks all the enemies and destroys them. Similarly, a wife is like a nice fortress for the husband. Even if the husband has desires, the wife fulfills all of them, and so that the husband can remain peacefully in the Grihastha ashram and perform bhakti. In that way, Kashyapa Muni said a man cannot repay his wife for the benefit he derives for her, even during his life or even after death, because the wife helps the husband to perform devotional service to Lord Krishna. So in that way, Kashyapa was glorifying his wife. So Kashyapa was getting weaker to fulfill Diti's desire. So ultimately, Kashyapa said, you see, this time of the evening, Shiva is going around with his bhutas and pretas. And in the evening time, if I fulfill your desires, then the Shiva will enter into your garbha with all his rakshas, bhutas and pretas, and it is a very inauspicious time. This is not the right time. So Shiva is your sister's husband, Uma's husband. So he has 3 eyes, so he can see everything. So please wait for some time. Please wait. But Diti, she became so shameless, she pulled the cloth of Kashyapa. She said, no, I want to enjoy right now. So Kashyapa also ultimately obliged. He gave up his yajna halfway. They went to a secluded place, and Kashyapa fulfilled the desires of Diti. And immediately after that, Kashyapa took bath and he sat down to purify. He chanted the Gayatri mantras and he began meditating on the Lord. And Diti also realized afterwards that what a big mistake she has made. She came to Kashyapa and asked for forgiveness. My dear Kashyapa, please forgive me. Dear Brahmana, Shiva must be angry on my embryo, and now he will kill all my sons, and what will happen? So Kashyapa said, oh Diti, because of your polluted time and because of your polluted mind and improper time, and because you disobeyed my order and you neglected the demigods, so because of these 4 reasons, in your womb the 2 biggest Rakshasas will take birth. 2 biggest demons will take birth in your womb, and they will be so abominable, they will be so demoniac that they will destroy the whole universe. They will kill millions and thousands of people. They will torture the Brahmanas. They will stop the yajnas. They will smash the mountains. Everybody, they will force everyone to worship them. Nobody should worship Vishnu. So in that way, Diti was very much crying, very sad. Now what to do? He said, if they will torture the Brahmanas, the wrath of the Brahmanas will come upon us. My dear Lord, what we should do? But Kashyapa Muni said, don't worry, they will be killed directly by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Diti was happy. Okay, actually they will be killed by the Lord at least. Otherwise the Brahmanas curses. If they will be killed by the Lord, they will be delivered. They will get mukti. Then Kashyapa said, Diti, but there is one good thing which will come out of this. So Diti said, what is that? So Kashyapa said, your grandson will become the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna. His name will be Prahlad. Praha means extra and Lad means happiness. He will give happiness even to the Lord. That is why he is known as Prahlad. Supreme happiness he will give to everyone who sees him by pleasing the Lord. He will be so merciful, he will want to send every soul to the kingdom of God. He will stay in this material world till every soul goes back to the kingdom of God. So Diti became very happy, but because in Diti's womb the Rakshasas were staying, that is why Diti forcibly tried to stop them from taking birth for 100 years. Diti was pregnant, but she refused to release the children because she knew that this is going to cause tremendous suffering to the whole world. So for 100 years she was stopping, but because of the Rakshasas already come in the womb, there was dense darkness which covered the whole of the universe, and the demigods could not breathe. They already realized our time has come now. So they ran to Brahma, and they asked Brahma, what is happening? What is happening? This Diti's embryo is creating dense darkness all over the universe. What is happening? So at that time Brahma recited this beautiful Lila which happened in Vaikuntha. Brahma said, you have nothing to worry. Actually, two of the Lord's great associates are coming down in Diti's womb. They have become Rakshasas. So the Devatas said, what is this? Please tell us. Please tell us this Lila, this pastime. So Brahma said that once my child, the Sanat Kumaras, they were Brahma Gyanis. They were meditating on Brahma, Nirakar Brahma, impersonal Brahma. They did not have full faith in the form of Lord Vishnu. They were not devotees. Bhakti Yoga, they were not so attracted. They were attracted to Jnana Yoga. But somehow, by Narada's mercy, they heard the beauty of Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha. So they wanted to go and see Lord Vishnu. So by the power, because they are very pure, because of their tapasya, they had the power to enter into Vaikuntha. And Vaikuntha has how many doors? 7 doors. If you don't know, then how will you go to Vaikuntha? If you want to go to some address, then you should know all the details, right? How many, where it is. If you go to a friend's house, how much inquiry you will do? Nobody is inquiring about Vaikuntha because nobody wants to go. So we should. Vaikuntha has 7 doors. There's a long description. I cannot go into it right now, otherwise it will become late. But each door, there are many different associates of the Lord which are guarding the door. And in Vaikuntha, the kakus and the cranes and the chakravakas and the swans, they are continuously singing. But when the bees start singing, glorifying the Lord, then all the other birds, they stop and they hear the bees singing. And the champaka and the bakula and the parijata and the lotus flowers, though they are present everywhere in Vaikuntha, but they are respectful to Tulsi. Because Tulsi is the queen of all the plants and the flowers in Vaikuntha. Because she is very dear to Lord Vishnu. So all of the flowers are always worshipping Tulsi. And all the ladies in Vaikuntha are just like Lakshmis. And they all receive the... And all the Lakshmis, in Vaikuntha, they clean the walls. All the walls are made up of Chintamani, stone. But they are cleaning the walls. Even though there is no dirt and dust in Vaikuntha. There is no dust in Vaikuntha. But they still keep on cleaning. Why? Because they want to please Lord Vishnu. Do some service. They want to please the Lord. So they keep on cleaning. So Vaikuntha, the Kumaras, they entered into Vaikuntha. Fortunately at that time there was no people guarding the 6 doors of Vaikuntha. So they opened the 6 doors quickly. And they went inside. But when they come to the 7th door, actually the Kumaras had no conception of ours and theirs, because they were children. So they were thinking Lord's home is our home. Just entering anybody's home without permission. Children, they don't ask for permission. So they just entering the home like that. And they came to the 7th door. And when they came to the 7th door, they saw two huge personalities. Very powerful, very tall. And somehow they were getting little angry. They rudely came and they blocked the road. Sanat Kumara, they blocked the way. You cannot go. Who are you? You cannot enter Vaikuntha. So immediately when they blocked the way, the Sanat Kumaras, they were shocked. Because nobody ever anybody has discriminated with them like this, treated them like this. They were shocked and with rage. Their eyes with rage. Normally Sanat Kumaras also don't get angry because they are also Brahmavadis. But due to the Lila of the Lord here, the Sanat Kumaras also got angry. And with rage, he said, who are you, those two people? By mistake you are in Vaikuntha. They told Jaya and Vijaya. Because in Vaikuntha there should not be any kuntha. There should not be any discrimination. There should not be any anxiety. Who are you to stop us from coming here? There should be perfect harmony in Vaikuntha. That is Vaikuntha. So you two are dressed like Vaikuntha, but you are maintaining duality. Somebody can come, somebody cannot come. This is duality. So you two, though you are staying in Vaikuntha, I think you belong to the Martyaloka. You belong to the Brahmanda. You have to go there. You should be put there. Because there, in that, there is friend and enemy in this world. But in Vaikuntha, there is no friend and enemy. There is no duality. So because you are discriminating, you have to go to this material world. So immediately when they said that, the Jaya and Vijaya realized that now the time has come that they are going to get cursed. So immediately they fell at the feet of Sanat Kumaras begging that, oh please forgive us. Please don't put us into illusion. You will put us into illusion and we will forget the Supreme Lord. We will lose the association of the Lord in Vaikuntha. Now just when they were talking like that, the Supreme Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan, he heard the commotion, the talk going on outside of the 7th gate of Vaikuntha. Immediately he came surrounded by Nanda Sunanda and even Lakshmi Devi. She also came inside. He came out and he saw the problem. His beauty was so exquisite. He was wearing a bright yellow cloth as a pitambara, and his garland from his neck was fresh flowers, was hanging. The bees were all roaming around his garland to taste the fragrance of his divine garland. And he was, in one hand he had a lotus flower, and one hand he was putting on Garuda. See, Garuda is sitting there. One hand he was putting in Garuda, other hand he was moving a lotus flower like that. And he was looking so beautiful that his beauty was destroying the pride, defeating the pride of even Lakshmi. And thus the Kumaras were so happy to see his beauty. The Kumaras had never seen such beauty before in their life. So they kept on seeing the Lord like this with open eyes, drinking the beauty of the Lord with their eyes. And suddenly some breeze came. Air. Breeze. And the breeze touched the feet of the Lord. And there were a lot of tulsis lying on the lotus feet of the Lord. And the breeze touched the lotus feet of the Lord, the breeze. And it forcibly entered into the nose of the Sanat Kumaras. And they got the smell of the tulsi from the lotus feet of the Lord. And some big chamatkar happened. Big revolution happened in their hearts. Some big reaction. Spiritual reaction. That from that day onwards, they were actually Brahmavadis. They were they were not meditating on the Brahma, the impersonal Brahma of the Lord, Brahma Jyoti. But when they smelled this tulsi fragrance, the beautiful verse in the Bhagvatam which says that Jigranti karana vivrai shruti vata nitam bhaktya greta shrutaya nape ishina tridayam buruhatsa pumsan. That when they breathed that tulsi's fragrance, it went into their heart and it developed some very strong attraction for the Lord in their heart. They became fully attracted to Lord Krishna. So they gave up their Jnana Yoga and they became the greatest Bhaktas. Bhakti Yoga. So by smelling the tulsi from the lotus feet of the Lord. So if we see in the history of the Vedas, Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yogis and Dhyan Yogis and Karma Yogis and all kinds of yogis have become devotees after seeing the Lord's beautiful form. But no Bhakti Yoga yogis has become Jnana Yogis. Because when you have 1 crore rupees, why will you take 10 lakh rupees? You will not go for the lower when you have the higher. From the lower, one can go higher. Yeah. So similarly, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate. Even the Sanat Kumaras, they realized after seeing the beautiful Lord. So then the Lord started speaking. He told the Lord was speaking in a very beautiful, very deep and a very sober, very his speech had many different meanings. So he said, you see, Sanat Kumaras, they are my servants, Jaya and Vijaya, and because they have committed a mistake, that is why even I have to accept wrong, because my servants have committed a mistake. So I beg forgiveness to you on their behalf, the Sanat Kumaras, because they have offended you. Ultimately, you are my devotees. So please tell me, even Ganga, she is the Charanamrita, she is washing my feet and everything is purified by Ganga. But even then, I take the dust of my feet of my devotees on my head. So my devotees should never be disrespected. And my Sanat Kumaras have disrespected you. You have disrespected Jaya and Vijaya have disrespected the Sanat Kumaras. So I take the blame for that. Please forgive them. In that way, when he was speaking, Jaya and Vijaya came to know that they had to come down to this material world. So immediately the Sanat Kumaras realized that they had made a big mistake to curse the great devotees of the Lord. And Jaya and Vijaya also realized they had made a mistake to stop the Sanat Kumaras. But ultimately nothing can stop. So immediately the Lord replied, okay, Jaya and Vijaya, you take birth in the Rakshasa family. You too will become the greatest Rakshasas in this world for 3 births. You will take 3 births. And in these 3 births, you will give me the joy of fighting with you. Actually, Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan wanted to enjoy fighting. But in Vaikuntha, nobody was there to fight. Because in Vaikuntha, everybody is devotee. Who will fight? Will devotee fight with the Lord? Even if the Lord forces, devotee will not fight. So the Lord deliberately put Jaya and Vijaya in the Rakshasa so that the Lord can enjoy fighting a little bit. Children, you enjoy fighting, right? No? They're shy. They are fighting. So fighting is a rasa everybody wants to enjoy. That is coming from the Lord. The Lord, all the rasas are coming from the Lord. It's a secondary rasa. 5 main rasas and 7 secondary rasas. So the Lord also wants to enjoy fighting. So then, but he does not fight with ordinary Rakshasas. Like the Dara Singh wants to fight. Will he come and say, okay, Aniruddha, come and fight? He will not tell. Dara Singh will not come ordinary. Dara Singh will need another Dara Singh. Somebody who can fight with him, equal. One who can really give him, fighting some normal Rakshasa, what happiness he will get. So the Lord wanted to fight. The Lord said, I don't need the ordinary Rakshasa. When my devotees only will become Rakshasas, they will fight with me very powerful. Because my devotees are very powerful. So Jaya and Vijaya, he made them into Rakshasas. But before going, Lord Narayan said, see, you have the choice. Either you take 3 lives as Rakshasas or 7 lives as Bhaktas, devotees. But Jaya and Vijay knew that, my dear Lord, why are you asking us? You want to fight? No, so we have to become Rakshasas. Do we have a choice? You have to fight, so we will become Rakshasas. Also, we don't want to stay in Maya for a very long time. We don't want to stay away from Vaikuntha for a long time. So we will just complete quickly as 3 lives and come back to you. So okay, the Lord said. So immediately they came, and at that time we saw Kashyapa and Aditi, and immediately they entered into the womb of Diti, covered by the embryo, and at that time all the devatas, all the universe became very afraid. All the bad omens were spreading all over the universe. The inauspicious planets like the Saturn and the Mars, they started shining, and the auspicious planets like Venus and Jupiter, they became dull. Comets and meteors and thunderbolts started flying in the sky everywhere, and fires were raging, earthquakes were coming, and fierce winds started blowing in every direction with hissing sounds, and trees were getting uprooted without any wind, and everything was covered in darkness. She jackals, they started emanating fire from their mouths, and asses started running here and there. Birds started shouting and shrieking, and cows, instead of passing milk, they started passing blood. So inauspicious signs happened because Jaya and Vijay coming down as Rakshasas, and the clouds started pouring pus instead of water. The temples, the deities, they started crying, and the trees fell down, and seeing all these evil omens, and demigods were afraid, everybody was afraid, only one person was not afraid. Who was that? The 4 Sanat Kumaras, because they knew who has come. The 4 Sanat Kumaras knew, so they were not afraid. Otherwise everybody got afraid. So the Diti maintained in her womb for 100 years. She was not releasing these 2 Rakshasas because she thought, more time I keep it, the less trouble for the world. But ultimately they came out, and according to medical science, actually when twins are born, one who comes out first is considered elder, and one who comes out second is considered younger. But according to the Vedas, one who comes out first is the younger one, and one who comes out second is actually the older, because he has come in the womb first. So when Diti gave birth, Hiranyaksha came out first, and then came out Hiranyakashipu. So who is the older brother? Hiranyakashipu. He is the older brother, and Hiranyaksha is younger. So both of them came out, and they had such uncommon demoniac qualities. When they stood up, they touching the skies. They were such fierce Rakshasas. When you start walking, they would block all the directions. Nobody could see anything. All the directions were blocked, and the earth was shaking at their every step. And Hiranyakashipu became very proud. He went to Brahma to worship and get all the benedictions that we will see in the 7th canto. But Hiranyaksha, the younger brother, he wanted to please his brother, so he took a mace in his hand, and he started going around all over the universe in order to fight to conquer everyone. He was roaming about, and Hiranyaksha already had got a very strong benediction from Brahma of immortality. So nobody could conquer him. When Hiranyaksha went to Svargaloka to fight the Devatas already ran away from Svargaloka. The whole Svargaloka became empty. So Hiranyaksha said, who will fight me? I want to fight. I have come for fighting. So then whole Svarga became empty. So he came down